GRS and Namco Kickstarters. Nintendo Switch 2, is it really worth the upgrade? And is Basic Fun going to build an XL? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened this week in home arcade. Episode 189. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by and hanging out with me on this Sunday night. Lots of stuff to get into. Talk about the weekend. I did some great stuff. Had an awesome time fixing toilets. Yeah, fixing toilets in my house. Yeah, we bought this house. It just turned 20 years old, and so that's when stuff starts to break. So I've been busy working on household stuff. Was able to get a few things done. Got some Nintendo Switch 2 playtime. I know a lot of people didn't think I was going to get one. I didn't think I was going to get one, but I did get one. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show as far as what are my impressions, what do I think, and more importantly, is it worth you spending your hard-earned money to get one? Also finished up, I guess it's the longest of terms project. It's the Astro City. Been about 3 years, finally get that thing 100% done, 100% wrapped up, fussing over every little detail till it's perfect, and now I'm considering it done. If I had a stamp, it would be on it. I'm done. And I can just sit back and enjoy it and play it. You can see it's actually rocking Die Hard right now in the background. Ton of fun. Waiting on one other thing on that to make that completely official, but that's just going to be pertaining to one of the game boards, not the cabinet itself. So that's fine. So I'm feeling pretty accomplished. I'm pretty happy. Sad the weekend's over, but it is what it is. Speaking of is what it is, let's talk about what is in my glass. Tonight we're going to go, obviously it's bourbon. Every night. I think it's like 99.5% bourbons every night, mostly. Tonight's no different. We're going to go with back with the Penelope Toasted. Gift from one of the channel members and an appreciative friend. I helped him pick up a big thing and move it in his house. So he gave me a bottle of bourbon. That's the way it works, kids. If you got good friends, that's what they do. Everybody raise your glass. No matter what you're drinking, cheers to another week gone by of retro gaming / home arcade. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff to talk about, man. It actually was a great week of news. We got through some of it over in the Super Game Room dudes. We're going to talk about some of that a little bit more in detail tonight. I got some details. We're going to go over Glenn's, the GRS Kickstarter that's kicking off. You see what I did there? It's kicking off. When is it going to start? What's it going to be? What's it going to be all about? What's some of the specifics of the cab and how that compares to other stuff out there? We're going to talk about all that. But before we talk about that stuff, let's talk about the poll question. Right now, in the live chat, every single week we have a poll question. This week is no different. The question today is simply, let me click on it. Okay, here's the hypothetical. Based on what we know, if you don't know what we're talking about, wait, we're going to talk about it later on in the show. But here's my question to you. Would you pay $600 for a Basic Fun XL? Now, when I say XL, I mean it comes with a 19-inch 4x3 monitor. So all the sizes would be accommodating to that, right? Centipede cabinet, very specific. $600 XL Centipede. Would you pay for it? Would you pay $600 for it? Would you buy it? And okay, it's kind of going the way that I thought in the chat right now. 45 votes. Jump up there. The poll is going to be going on all show long. We'll get to it at the very end. We'll talk about the results. I want to keep it simple tonight. No multiple choices. Well, okay, I guess there's technically 2 choices, but not multiple choices where I kind of have some fun and there's 3 or 4 different options. Simple yes or no question based on what we know, based on what we've seen. Once again, if you don't know what we're talking about it, just wait. We'll talk about it later on in the show and then you can vote in the poll. Based on that information, would you do it? Yes or no? Okay, that's the poll question. The pinned comment tonight is also the link to the new store. The merch store is up. It's running. It's reliable. I've used it several times. It's a far cry from the crap that I had before. Teespring is garbage. TeePublic is much better. This one is geared towards content creators. It's got great feedback. So if you're interested at all in checking something out, supporting the channel in that way, click on that link. Help me out. I really do appreciate it. Speaking of appreciating, let's talk about people that stop by in the chat. They leave those comments because they're trying to make the top 10. It's a very dangerous, competitive sport. Getting in the top 10. People have lost their lives. Well, not really. It's virtual. But you understand what I'm saying. They've lost street cred by not making in the top 10. And who gets the coveted #1 spot tonight? That's what we're going to find out tonight. Jump on up. I got to scroll all the way up to the very top. This one came rolling in before 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And it is Angelo P. rocking the #1 spot. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. A long time supporter of the channel. Good evening, Fox and chat. I think I made it first. You did. You made it first. And then Kevin follows it up with a dang. Coming in the #2 spot. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. And also follows that up with another comment. Hey, Fox, if this is a free country, why do I have to pay for everything? One of the great mysteries, buddy. One of the great mysteries indeed. Also, what's not a mystery is the fact that this guy supports the channel like crazy and gifting a membership. Much appreciated. It's always appreciated. Glad you're here to do that, buddy. Really helps me go on to the next person, the #3 spot. It is Frank D. What's going on, buddy? Coming in, slide into the 3rd spot. My Switch 2 arrives today. I'm excited. You left that comment at 1 o'clock, so hopefully you got it and you're playing it. And well, I mean, stop for a second, watch the show, and then continue to play. But it's I got some thoughts. Coming in the #4 spot is Sir Sega. What's going on, buddy? Yo, Fox. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you too. Moeller the Medic takes the #5 spot. What's going on, buddy? Hello, everyone. Still working on my Road Blasters cabinet. Side art has not arrived yet, but the project is coming along. That sounds good. You've got some of the biggest issues solved. Some of the stuff that I just didn't have the know-how, didn't have the time for. Fixing all of the problems with the board, getting the game to run properly. That's a huge, huge hurdle, man. I'm glad you're able to get that going. Coming in the #6 spot is Bob. What is going on, buddy? Hi, all. Happy Sunday indeed. Thoughts and prayers going to Bob. He lost a dog today, and that was not good. That was not good. He sent me that message, and I was like, man, that's rough. He's not having good luck with animals this year. So thinking about you, man. And you've had that dog for a very long time, so keep your head up, man. Show Gecko coming in the #7 spot. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, folks. Make it a good one, Fox. I try. I think I almost had a good one time, but it slipped away. So you're going to have to just settle for mediocrity. It's what I do best. Coming in the #8 spot is Milk Man Classic. What's going on, buddy? Hey, Fox. Happy Sunday. Great work on the Astro City. Keep up the good work, buddy. Thank you so much for checking out that video, and that's the best way to support the channel. Watching the videos, liking, sharing, all the good stuff. It really helps out. That's what matters the very most. Dan Z is coming in the #9 spot. Thank you so much for being here. Add Fox with a little Fox emoji with a little drink in his hand. Okay. Challenge accepted. Not too shabby. And that means the 10th spot's going to go to Cat Dad's Arcade. Target's website shows the Switch 2 rating at 2.8 out of 5 stars. Yikes. We're going to have to talk about that. We're going to have to talk about that in basically it's a review. We're going to do a review tonight. I'm going to do a proper video after I've had a little bit more time with the system, just so I can really sort of get all my thoughts absolutely locked in. But you're going to get the 2-day review. So hopefully you like it. Hopefully it's beneficial to you, and hopefully it helps you kind of make your decision, because it's not a cheap product at all. Israel's here. What's going on, buddy? The B Me is also here. Jay is in the house. Novasonic 23. If I can click on your, there we go. Is in the house. Thank you so much for being here. B Kirby, what is going on, brother? Always good to see you. Brooklyn the Menace is in the house. Calvin Wong, Decadent Dave. How you doing? LOL, no light up coin door, and 4-3 screen. Damn. I thought nobody would make a cab worse than RK1-Up, but here we are. Absolutely. There's room for improvement and deprovement? Making things worse improvement? I don't know what the word is, but yeah, we're here for it. Gramps Arcade is also here. Good to see you, buddy. Mike Hawkerts is saying hi. I'm more excited for WrestleFest than Centipede. I already have spent almost $400 in upgrades for the Yeah, your Atari cabinet has got $400 worth of upgrades. It was what, a $500 cabinet? Well, you got the one with the, depending on which one you got, you might have got one for 400. So you're damn near a grand deep in your cabinet. So yeah, you're probably ready for something new for sure. The Real Zim is also here. A Tran fanatic. How you doing, buddy? John E. Blaze, what's going on? Chris C. J. Rod, Jason, Lil Leyland, Modern Like a Mofo. Great to see you as always. Miss G is in the house. Tammy, how are you? I didn't get one. I hope it's because you didn't want one and not because you missed out. Because depending on where you are, where you live, they are all over the place. They are plentiful, and some places are pretty scarce. MSU Rich is also here. We got Saying Spirits, my brother. What is going on, man? Great to see you as always. Let me scroll. I think we got almost everybody. Mike of all trades, Puns. Fox has got him. That's right. Puns is the one. Stock Jock, what's going on, man? Always good to see you. I'm here for the poll. Well, listen, however you got to make a buck, brother. No judgment here at all, for sure. No judgment here at all. I think we probably said hi to everybody. Let me roll down just a little bit. I think we got AWOL 101. What's going on, buddy? What up, Sarge? Eddie's. Did we get everybody? I think we got everybody. Fist of Love is also here. James. There he is. You still hating everything? I don't think so. Port of Dream is also here. Meatball Saucy. The sauciest of meatballs is here. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. I think we got everybody okay. And the Dubious Maximus had to subscribe for 10 minutes to leave this comment. Well, the good thing is now you can unsubscribe. See? It all works out. It all works out. Yeah, I changed the threshold. It's always been 5 minutes. I thought, why not go for 10? Why not go for 10? Okay, the poll question is up. Answer the poll. Let me know what you think about it. I got a drink in my hand. I hope you do as well. That means we're going to go ahead and slide into the first topic. Kickstarters galore. They're all going crazy. Kickstarters everywhere. Let's talk about one that may be a little less known to home arcade enthusiasts, and then we'll talk about Glenn's. Starting off with this bad boy right here. So I saw this, the Facebook post on the Arcade 1-Up modding page group on Facebook. If you're not a member of that group, check it out. A lot of good stuff going on over there. And this was something that, piqued my interest just a little bit. Thought it was interesting and clicked on it, and it led me to an article, which then led me to the Kickstarter. And here's the Kickstarter. And it's not Sinden. It's Game-y. Okay, it's game. It's game, but in the middle they just like, you see it's the word aim. See what they did there? Gotcha. This is a light gun game set-top box. It's a plug-and-play light gun peripheral that is going to come included with Time Crisis. Okay, so you see how, this could end really badly. I mean, we've seen a lot of these. Remember when at games used to be really, really bad? I mean, they're not good now, but when they used to be really, really bad, and then they had those little like Pac-Man set-top boxes, and they were garbage. They were like $20, and it was like you felt bad for actually spending $20 on it because it sucked so bad. Yeah, I was thinking of something like that. But then you read on, and you realize this is not going to be super cheap as far as quality and price. And you realize that they're doing something different besides Sinden. Now, I would have probably been happy with just somebody partnering with Sinden and partnering with Namco or any other publisher and put this thing together. I think I would have been fine with that. But this is something a little bit different. It doesn't use the box. It uses AI and then a high-definition camera built into the actual gun to, I guess, find the screen. And, there you go, right? It sounds like kind of gimmicky. It might not work, but there's somebody in the chat after I made a comment saying, hey, that sounds really cool. That's like Sinden Light Gun, but games included. Someone in that same thread said, hey, listen, I was actually over in Japan, got a chance to play it. It is crazy accurate. It's super accurate. So it's watching the game, it finds the screen, and then it uses AI in some way, shape, or form. I'm sure there's algorithms and all kinds of math that I'm not aware of to help you kind of just really zoom in on your target. Now, I would love to see a tech demo of this. I would love to be able to get my hands on this and play with it. But you can imagine, this is something that, if done well, could just be the next, like the floodgates could open up and every single publisher could come out with something. And of all companies to do this, Sega would just be the first one I would think of for their Light Gun games. I mean, do it official, partner it up, Do it right, spend the money, and if it's something as simple as this, where you can just get your arcade fix, but get officially licensed games that work well, sign me up. I'm here all day long. I'm here all day long. Yeah, exactly. Everything sounds good until until you get it. The damn thing is gimmicky and you're missing and shots are all over the place. It's not going to work. I'm still set for a gun for IR with a PC. There you go. But this is simpler. This is bonehead simple, okay? Even I can do it. Anybody can do it. It's a set-top box with this proprietary gun. Plug it in a TV and away you go. And you have Namco officially backing it, which is also interesting. Let's get into some of the specifics of it. So this is the game gun. Gamey. I don't know. Maybe they should rethink the name. Or maybe just lowercase the G and the E. I don't know, something. But we get it. AIM. The game gun uses our own bespoke technology that utilizes a high-resolution camera and AI in place of the traditional infrared used in light guns of the past. We have packaged this with a custom licensed version of Time Crisis, faithfully recreated from the original arcade ROM to give you a new and unique arcade experience. Our Kickstarter is going live on the 24th. So June 24th is when it's going live at noon. Sign up to be notified, which I have. Okay, so sounds good. Some more specifics. The game like gun was featured, and this is actually from the article. So what I just read you was actually on the Kickstarter. This is from the article. So some of this stuff doesn't translate over to the Kickstarter. I'm always skeptical about that because it's like, well, what? So this is in the article. So is this just something said? Are they not beholden to it because they didn't put it in their Kickstarter? I don't know. But this was from the actual interview, the article that was written. It said the Game Like Gun was first unveiled last year, but this company has since redesigned the device and provided new information regarding what customers can expect. The gun doesn't rely on external gaming platforms, but rather ships plugged into a box that connects to a TV. Okay, so for $90, you're going to get the standard edition, which comes with the gun, the box, and the first game. I don't know if there's going to be a downloadable platform where you can purchase games separately. I don't know. It doesn't mention that at all. But it's going to come with Time Crisis. $90, you get the gun, you get the hardware, you get the one game, and away you go. Or for $30 more, you can get the premium tier, which comes with Point Blank, Steel Gunner 2, and a foot pedal for taking cover. So you can be able to add stuff to it. So, okay, $120. If it works, this could be great. I mean, this could be really, really fun. Now, there's no sensors that you got to mount around your TV. There's no light box from Sinden, nothing like that. If you don't want to set up a PC, if you don't want to have to fumble around and find something that's just plug and play, if you can't afford, the Time Crisis, or you don't like being limited to that 17-inch monitor, this could be great. This could be great. It could also be horrible, right? But it could be really good. Why did they have to redesign it, I wonder? Now, I didn't see the first iteration of this. It's a really good point, though. What did they have to redesign? Maybe the thinking was something different. Maybe the box was sold separately. Maybe the gun wasn't really... It couldn't be as accurate to a Namco gun because of licensing. But now that they have the license, they've changed it. These are all just me speculating. I don't really know. But this could be really, really simple. I mean, bonehead simple and just fun. If you just are a fan of the Time Crisis Namco gun games, and you just want something kind of cool, you're super casual, something like this could be absolutely great. It could be. Could have the potential to be. And then, okay, so Namco, let's say Namco does this, it comes out, it's a success. I would love to see other publishers do this. And these companies are always trying to find ways to get their products out there. And this is another company to fight for licensing and to actually get some of these games, these light gun games, into homes of consumers without having to worry about RK1UP justifying the price of an entire cabinet recreation, $600-700. This is something I can see it's going to be an impulse buy for, I think, a lot of people that are fans of the games. I'm not saying if you see this sitting on a shelf at 100, in Walmart for $120, that may not be the impulse buy you're thinking. It may seem gimmicky. I don't really know. We're going to have to look at the packaging. We're going to have to get a good look at the hardware. We're going to have to see somebody playing around with this and checking it out and really give some honest feedback about how does it work? Is it funky at all? Are there any adjustments? Also, somebody's talking about, yeah, why add a foot pedal with a game that doesn't need it? It needs it. Well, it's going to need it for the one game, but the other games, not so much. It's probably a way, once again, to justify that bigger price tag instead of just loading more games on it. I don't know a lot about it beyond what I just told you. Just found out about this a couple days, but I am excited about something different, something else coming out that's going to lower the barrier of entry, which is, it's really just been PCs and different light gun games, light gun technology that's not always the most user friendly. Now, for most of us that have been doing this and modding for a while, it's not that big a deal, and I get it. But that's a lot of the appeal of the arcade one-ups and the basic funds of the world. Something you can just go to the store, buy, take it home, build it, plug it in, and away you go. That's the appeal of a lot of this stuff. That's the appeal of all these little set-top boxes, even the ones that Arcade One-Up did back in the day. They actually sold some of those. I know, it's crazy, right? That's the appeal. People just want something simple and easy. And if this is a way to get these games back out into the universe, into the lexicon, I'm all about it. It could be super, super fun. Or it could be a giant disaster. But it is something to consider. The Kickstarter kicks off this month, June 24th. If you're interested at all, maybe give it a shot. Maybe check it out. I'm interested. I'm interested in seeing what the backing, what the different levels are. I'm assuming you're just going to have the two packages. If I'm going to spend $90, I'm going to go ahead and spend 120 and probably back this thing at the premium level just to see. Hopefully it comes out. Hopefully it, really, come on, Sega, what are you doing? Sega, you're killing me. You're killing me. You're killing everybody else who's a fan of your games. Just do it. And Sega has so many light gun games out there that are absolute treasures and classics. They could have just the House of the Dead set-top box where you get like 3 games on it. And people would buy that all day long for $120. Assuming the light gun technology is accurate and works, would you buy it for $120? I mean, I think that I would. I mean, nobody else is going to really come out with a light gun cabinet. I mean, maybe. I mean, Basic Fun says they're going to do it, but what games are going to come out? What's the quality of the gun? I don't really know. What's the quality of this gun? A lot of questions to be answered, but I'm really excited about the potential because this is a different thing. This is a new way that we could actually get some more arcades into our home in different shapes, different forms. Something else that, so no one is really going to buy the, yeah, I don't think so either. You'd have to buy the 120 because to me, the $90 price point makes no sense. If it was like $70, like if it was half the price or maybe a little bit more than half the price, I guess it would make some sense. But I mean, just spend $30 more. I mean, if you're going to jump in, just spend $30 more and you get the foot pedal. How's it going to work? Good, bad, I don't know. The extra games, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Ha ha, yeah, well, ha ha. Right back at you. So easy, Caveman can do it. That's what we're going for. That's what everybody should be going for. Make this stuff as simple as possible. Hey, Chris, what's going on, buddy? That being said, I'm good with my multi-cade shooter cab, so won't be interested in it. Well, that's another thing. I've got a big, expensive shooter multi-cade coming as well. So this may not be for us, but it is for people that want this and want zero hassle and don't want to spend a ton of money. That's who I think this is for. And if you want to maybe you don't want to spend a bunch of money and try to build a shooting multi-cade, this would be a great way to add just a little bit of that diversity into your, into your arcade, into your space, and maybe do it for cheap. So I think it's a good thing. Now, if the quality sucks, well, I'm going to find out because I'm going to back this thing. Maybe the 90 is a way to get a second controller. That's not a bad idea. Could you plug them together and get 2-player action going on? I don't really know. Time Crisis, that wouldn't work for Time Crisis. That was a single-player game. But I see your point. And maybe in the future, maybe if you did Sega, you'd have to have 2 controllers. And maybe that would be a situation where you do double the price, where it's like $80 and $160 for the 2-player version. I don't know. Or maybe you just buy 2 systems and then you can tether them together. So $90 is the fixed price, but if you want to add more, you just you buy two. So that's what you do. I don't know. Could be interesting. Could be fun. Howdy, Billy. Good to see you as always. No problem. No penalties for being tardy. Just pick up your glass and watch the show. Yeah, I'm also curious if you can add games to this. Can you show us pictures and specs again? I don't have any. There's no specs. It's all theoretical. It's just a picture, an image of the Namco gun. So we will see. We will absolutely see, because that's going to go live this month, 6/24. You're going to get more information there. The Kickstarter doesn't have a ton of specifics. The Kickstarter doesn't even list the prices, the 2 tiers. That was in the article that I read, so it's kind of funky. I will, when the show's over, I'll link all this stuff in the description of this video. You can come back to it, click on the links, and check them out. Faux show. Let's move on to something else. I don't know if you've heard about this guy. Let's see, look at the way, GRS. Yeah, Glenn's Retro Show is finally coming out with this Build-A-Cade FU, the full-size unit. That's right. The FU is going to, yeah, it's here. It's here. Finally. So this thing is going to go live. So the image is up, like you see it. It's going to go live on the 25th. So you got the light gun thing going on the 24th, going live on the 24th. Glenn's is going live on the 25th. And there's not going to be a $100 option. Sorry, that's just not going to happen here. But he does have a lot of specifics. And this is what I love. Glenn has brought a whole bunch of stuff in here. Give us a lot to chew on. We're not going to go over every single thing, but I wanted to hit the high points. And the first one I want to start with is the overall size of this cabinet. Coming in at 68 inches tall, 24 inches wide, and about 24 inches deep. So 24 by 24, 68 inches tall. It's another one who didn't buy the... yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. Let me call me. Hey, what's going on? B. Kirby is a new member. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for locking yourself in to the members-only live stream. It's going to happen tonight. It's the after show. All the members, every week. You get to enjoy... Well, you get to be there. I don't know if you enjoy it or not. I'm getting the FU 26-inch screen, just debating to get the one with all the control panels. Yes, because that's the kicker, right? Because there is a expensive option. So looking at the height, 68 inches, which is about the size of a XL cabinet. So if you've got some XL cabinets, this is going to fit in well with those size cabinets. I didn't know how big this thing was really going to be, but luckily you're not going to be quite, if you sit this thing next to a full-size arcade, depending on which one you set it next to, it's not gonna dwarf your XL, and it's not gonna quite measure up to some of these bigger arcades. For example, my Big Red is about 76 inches, and then my Big Blue is about 78 inches. Now that's without the caster, so it's even taller with that. So you're looking at 80 inches for some of these bigger arcade cabinets. But XL cabs, all about this range, 66 to 67 inches, 68 fits right in that same sort of framework, so that's going to be good. It's not going to throw the look of your entire arcade off, and that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. You're going to have 2 different options. You're going to have the automatic rotating 19-inch monitor. So it's going to be whatever game you select, the console, not the console, but the cabinet's going to know which one you selected, and the board's going to rotate the screen to match the orientation of the game you're playing. Could this be confusing? Perhaps. You just made it. Good job, buddy. You just made it. I should really just start. The first half of the show should just me talking and drinking, maybe. Then everybody comes in at the half-hour mark. So on to more specifics. You're going to have that 19-inch automatic rotating function, which is kind of funky, kind of weird. Is the potential there for this thing to rotate when it's not supposed to? I don't know. I kind of wish it was just, honestly, just between you and me and everybody watching. I wish this was just manual. Automatic is really cool, but I don't know if the cost is justified. It sounds cool, and it's probably going to work like no problem. But I think it would just be maybe easier if it was just a button, and it was still electronic, but you could just hit the button to rotate. You could just select, Tate or Hori orientation, and away you go. Or you can get the 26-inch Unicode monitor that you can rotate, but it's not going to do it automatically. And it's not going to, you're not just going to just rotate it. You're going to have to actually take it out, twist it 90 degrees, and put it back in if you want to do that. It's going to be a little more involved there, but to get that 26-inch monitor within the side, the limitations there are actually pretty tight, because you're looking at a monitor that's about what did I say, 21.25 inches. And if you count the tabs, you're looking at an interior dimension that's very close to the 23 inches that they've got listed right here. Remember, you got to take off the thickness of the side panels, which we're going to talk about that thickness in specificity in just a minute. So you got those two different screen options. And what's the price difference between those two? Well, the super early bird pack is going to be the cheapest way to go. So the automatic rotating 19-inch monitor is $200 less than the one with the 26-inch Phoenix monitor. That blows my mind that this rotating functionality, I thought that if you had a 19-inch plus this rotating functionality, that would have pretty much leveled the playing field with the 26-inch version. Yes, the 26-inch monitor is more expensive, but it's just fixed. There's nothing else that needs to be done. There's no electronics. There's no rotating anything. It's locked in. So it's kind of weird that that's that much of a difference maker when it comes to the price. But there it is. The cheapest way to get in, you're going to spend $1,000, and then it just goes north from there. $1,200 for the 26-inch. And honestly, if it was me, that's the way I would go. I would definitely lean towards the 26-inch. Get the 26-inch, guys. Only $200 more is a good deal. The monitor itself, by itself, if you were to buy it, is $300. Now, I'm sure, hopefully, Glenn's getting a better deal, but still, that's an expensive monitor, and there's not a lot of options out there. I think this is probably the cheapest 4x3 26-inch monitor you can find. There's others out there, but they're not cheaper, so this is the way to go if you're concerned about cost, which most of us are. Then you can go all the way to the Mega Pack. Now, I'm not including the level above this where you can buy two. That's just crazy. But so you see the base price here. And then now let's take a look at the maxed out Mega Pack that includes all the control panels and everything. You're looking at $1,800 for the 19-inch automatic rotating with all the control panels, or $2,000 for the 26-inch Unico and all of this other stuff. You're getting the Glintendo hood. You're getting the 2 steering wheel deck. You're getting the flight yoke deck. You're getting the flight stick deck. You're getting the trackball. You're getting the dual rotary joystick deck. It's crazy. You're getting just a crap ton of stuff. And that's what, listen, we talk about all these other companies, nickel and diming you and scrimping and all that. And I'm not saying everything that Glenn is offering is going to be total perfection, but for God's sakes, I mean, damn it, look at this. Yes, it's $2,000, but look at the stuff. This is just, I'm kind of overwhelmed with what you can get for $2,000, because honestly, at $1,000, I'm thinking, I don't know, man, that's kind of $1,000. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, man, if just get rid of the rotating monitor thing and get that price down even lower, you know, that'd probably shave $100 off. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not, but you know, get that thing down around like $900, $899, something. But then you come here and you see this, you're like, I mean, dude, like this is the full boat. This is everything. All the control panels and the big 26-inch monitor equipped cabinet for $2,000 is kind of nuts. I'm going to be honest with you. It's kind of nuts. So look at the schedule over here. I'm going to kind of lean in because I can't see it. Yeah, I'll look up here. So you got the campaign starting June 25th. It's happening the 25th of this month. The campaign ends in August. And then you're looking at the production end. November is when they're going to wrap up production. In November of this year, which means that they're going to start the freight January 26th. So they finish up all the production in November. You've got if it's mid-November, you got vacations and holidays and all this stuff. You have packaging that has to take place, get all the orders together, and then you have to ship it. Load it up in containers after it's boxed, load it up in containers and ship it and get it out by January, or it starts in January. Freight ends in January of 26. Okay, so 1 month to get it all wrapped up and done and out there. And then the goal is to have these things delivered a couple months after it ships. So after it ships from China, a couple months and it should be delivered. That's ambitious, but I think it's definitely possible if logistically these things all kind of line up. Now, dealing with Unico, I know that some of this stuff doesn't always go the way that it should. We may have some production delays and stuff like that, but I think this is This is crazy. You can talk about the $1,000 price point. You can debate that back and forth. But if you, and I know it's double your money, but for $1,800 to $2,000, you're getting. You can't deny you're getting a whole hell of a lot of hardware for this. Now let's talk about some of the actual construction of the cabinet. I talked about the 68-inch height, so this is going to be basically an XL cabinet height. You're just going to be slightly taller than an XL cabinet. That's the height. Glenn's talking about the thickness of the wood, the side panels, and all that. So let's talk about that. Let's start with, he's saying 15 millimeter thickness in most places. And then the parts that you can't see, the stuff underneath, probably the cross braces, stuff that's behind the cabinet, is going to be 12 millimeter. Now, why is that important? What does that mean? We're in America. Why are you throwing millimeters at me? So to give you an example, RKL 1UP uses 12 millimeter construction on everything they do. 12 millimeters is just a little bit under a half inch. It's like 0.49 inches. 15 millimeter jumps it up to 0.6 inches. So a little bit more than a half inch. Not quite a full-size cabinet because that specs out at 20 millimeters. Or, it's supposed to be 3/4 inch plywood. So 3/4 inch, maybe 0.8 inches, depending on the cabinet that you measure, depending on the swelling of your wood over time. I measured mine behind me. I measured the big red, the big blue, and that's what I came up with. So closer to XL sizing, closer to XL wood thickness, but still a little bit thicker, a little bit taller. So 0.1 inches thicker on the side panels and, not the interior panels. They're going to be the same as the 1UP. This is going to be a little bit thicker and then about a 1 inch taller than an XL cabinet. That's what you're looking at. That's what you're getting. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. It definitely it's going to, yeah, well, listen, hey, sometimes if the mood hits you and if the water gets to your wood, it's going to swell. It happens. I'll probably just get the Akari Warriors deck with my FU cab. I'll buy others down the road. Yeah, it's one of those things where I don't know. You gotta think about it. Girth. It's what's for dinner. That's not. I didn't mean to say it that way. All the controllers are so nice to have. Doesn't matter what game you play. That's the thing, man. It's like if you know, and I'm not talking to anybody in anything. I'm just talking about my mindset. You think about it. Okay, so I'm going to sit here because the prices are listed. So I'm going to get this, let's get this one. Let's get this control panel. I like the 26-inch. I'm going to pay $1,200 for that. Now let's go over here and what does it come with? It comes with the Akari Warrior. Oh, it comes with the just generic like 6-player or 6-button 2-player control panel. And if I know I'm going to go ahead and I'm $1,200 in already. What else am I going to do? Well, what am I going to get the flight yoke? Yeah, probably. That's pretty cool. That's $250. And then, I want to get the flight stick. Let's go ahead and get that. So that's going to be another $130. So now you're nickel and dime and piecing stuff together. And maybe you want the Nintendo hood, or maybe you don't, but that's only $120. That's not bad. But you can see how if you plan on getting a couple of these control panels, you're going to be pretty damn close to the price of the Mega Pack. So I think that just for simplicity's sake, if you're planning on getting 2 control panels and the Nintendo hood, I mean, you might as well just go ahead and spend the $2,000 and get the whole thing. I know it's only 5% off, but to me, it just doesn't, like at that point, why not have options? And think about the way you can display this, like having like a badass rack sitting next to your GRS FU with every single control panel sitting there ready to go. And all you got to do is just unplug it, grab the other one, plug it in. So, it's, there you go. Super early bird pack. Jump in as soon as the Kickstarter goes live to take advantage of those prices. Beyond that, I mean, I don't know if it's going to take a few hours or a day, maybe 2, before the super early bird pack is going to be totally gone and you're going to be stuck paying higher prices. And then, honestly, if you don't get in on the super early bird pack, then the mega pack starts to make more sense. If you miss out on those super duper low prices and you still want a couple control panels, I don't know, guys. I mean, if you're going to be spending $1,700 by the time you get the machine that you want and a couple control panels, what the hell? I mean, just buy them all. Just spend $2,000 and get everything, and then that way you don't have to worry about trying to order something later if you decide you really want it. And hell, maybe you could sell some of these that you don't like or don't want or don't need to somebody else. you know? So, I don't know. Pretty impressive, I gotta say. Pretty impressive. A little bit bigger than an XL, so it's going to fit in your arcade setups. Lots of functionality. The pricing ain't that bad. So finally, we got pen to paper. We know what we're getting. So June 24th, Namco Kickstarter. June 25th, the GRS Kickstarter. A lot of kickstarting going on this month, guys. So you got to figure out what exactly you're in the mood for. What are you willing to pay? What do you want to really buy? I think you've got some time. You've got almost a month to look over this stuff and decide where you want to go. Put some money aside, knowing the timeline is, if that's solid, if it holds, you could have this stuff. I'd say April of next year. That's not bad. So less than a year out from actually pre-ordering this stuff, you could get your hands on it. I'm excited overall for just Glenn being able to finally get through all this crap. And with the tariffs and everything, if you go to the Kickstarter, there's a bunch of information about that on the Kickstarter as far as pricing and all that. Check it out, read over it. You got time to think about any of this stuff before it goes live. But I'm excited for Glenn to finally get this thing moving, and the Kickstarter is going to go live, and we will see just exactly how successful it can be. Okay, I went along in the first segment, so let's talk about the thing that I swore I wasn't going to get. Well, I didn't swear I wasn't going to get. I was just like, nah, I'm good. And I did. I had the pre-order at Walmart, and I had it, and then I canceled it. I'm like, you know what? No, I don't think, on paper, looking at it, I didn't think it was really worth the upgrade. I'm not going to do it. But then Monday morning, I go into work, and I stop by this Walmart every Monday because I have some stuff that I get for the office. So I get myself some coffee, I get myself some granola, and I make sure I got my creamer, so I'm set up for the week in the office, So I drink a lot of coffee. And I was like, well, what the hell? Let's go over there and just see. Because I'm sure everybody was here at midnight and they bought everything. And I went back there and I was looking and somebody offered to help me. I'm like, no, I'm just looking. And I don't see anything. I see some Switch 2 accessories up there. I'm thinking, well, that's probably all they got left. And this nice old dude from behind the counter is like, hey, man, can I help you? I said, well, I am kind of curious. You got any of those Switch 2s left? He's like, oh, yeah. Do you want the one with the game or without the game? I said, sorry? He said, yeah, we have 11 left. They had 85 at that store. And this is just a random store in Cincinnati. And I'm like, well, I've come all this way. Why not? So I went the cheapest route. I got the one without the game because I had some credit card points I was going to use to get a code to download the game. It's a long story. But basically, I have Mario Kart now. I haven't actually played it because all I've been doing is playing Breath of the Wild. I mean, good God, that is beautiful on this console. And this console is great. It feels good in the hand. You got these bigger controllers for hands like mine. It's still, I can cover up the whole thing, but it still feels more substantial. Feels better in the hand. I like the matte black color. I really love the matte black. I like the fact that it's got 256 gigs built in. That's crazy, up from 64 for my OLED. And with my OLED, so I got the 64 on the actual system, and then I had another 64 gig memory card to plug into it. So I had 128 gigs of storage. And I didn't max that out. So 256 should be fine. But if you want more, you got to get these Express SD cards, which are expensive. And I think they're only available in 128 and 256 now. So I don't think it's really necessary. So I just got this, and I downloaded the pack, the upgrade pack for Breath of the Wild, and I downloaded Mario Kart. I'm probably going to get the Pro Controller. But I had an OLED before. So the question becomes, do I think it's worth the upgrade? As cool as this is, and I like it, and it fits great, and I just sold my OLED to somebody locally. They got a great deal. I keep all my stuff in. I keep all the packaging and everything. Is it really worth the upgrade? For most people, considering the amount of games that are out for it right now, the compatibility is pretty much all there. If you got an OLED, I don't think so. I don't think I don't think it's something you have to have, because this feels like a nice upscaled Switch. It doesn't feel like a new console. And I'm not trying to diminish it. And I'm happy with my purchase. And I recouped about half my funds whenever I sold my OLED, so I'm not really that mad. But at $500 or $450, depending on which version you get, I don't think it's necessarily worth it for most people because it doesn't feel like a new console. The UI is basically the same, but everything is a little snappier. You can tell the e-store is where I really noticed it. It used to really kind of lag going to the e-store on my OLED. This is real snappy, real quick. Everything is bigger, so it feels more comfortable in my large hands. But if you don't have large hands, that may not be a big issue for you. The bigger screen is really nice and bright, but it's not an OLED, it's an LED. There's only just a couple games out right now. I'm sure more games are coming. They're going to take advantage of it and all that. But as it sits right now, even though I dig it, and I'm not regretting it, but if you don't really have the money to spend, and if you're really on the fence, I say don't get it. Now, later, when there's more games out, and maybe you see a $50 price drop, yeah, then probably by all means get it. But to me, it just feels like a Switch upgrade, not a brand new console. It really doesn't. It plays very similar. It makes Breath of the Wild look beautiful, but it just doesn't feel like a new console. I mean, everything feels it just feels like an upgraded version of the same. And that's what it really is. Definitely upgraded, bigger, faster, smoother, all that stuff. But once you start playing, once you start interacting with the console, it just feels like a Switch. It feels like another Switch. And, for what the current pricing is $350 for an OLED versus $450 for this. If you don't have either one, well, might as well go ahead and go for the Switch to future-proof yourself, go for the bigger screen. But if you've already got an OLED, I don't think it's really worth it right now. Now, my opinion may change after a week, after 6 months. Maybe some things really change and shake up, and there's this killer app that you just have to have, and then maybe it's worth getting it. But for right now, just to get another Mario Kart game, nah. I think if you didn't get it, I don't think you should stress. I think you should just wait. Your Switch will be just fine, especially if you have an OLED. Now, if you have the original Switch, maybe there's more reasons to do it. But I think for right now, the way it sits, if you've got an OLED, I don't necessarily think it's worth it right now, today. But in the future, that could absolutely 100% change. What does everybody else think? Real quick, let me grab some opinions. I was still using a day one 2017 Switch, so the upgrade is perfect timing. Exactly. I think going from the original Switch to this, that's a dramatic change because you're talking about a gigantic screen upgrade, physically bigger, everything's a little faster, way more internal memory. It's not even close. It's crazy. Mine is scheduled to arrive tomorrow, upgrading from Gen 1. See, Gen 1, it is probably a no-brainer because if you're wanting to upgrade, if you're already in the market to upgrade, I probably wouldn't go for the OLED. I'd probably spend a little bit more and get this. But if you've got the OLED, I think that's probably the main thing. If you've got the OLED, I don't think it's worth it. I'm good with my version 1 Switch docked to my TV. It doesn't feel, and I'm seeing your point here. It's like it doesn't really feel like a brand new console. It feels like a slicker, upgraded version. Like, when you get a PS4 or PS5, there's a massive UI change, and the controller is slightly different. And there are some things that are slightly different on this. But for me, it's just not worth the upgrade. So that's what it kind of feels like. You can definitely feel the quality. You can definitely, it's bigger, it's faster, but it just, the thing that really gets me is the UI is almost exactly the same, slightly polished, slightly slicker, but it's exactly the same, guys. You would have to really pay attention to see that somebody's playing a Switch too. Like if you walked into somebody's living room and they got their Switch on the screen and you're looking at it, I don't know that you'd really be able to tell right off the bat that that's a Switch 1 or Switch 2. You'd have to wait and watch for a little bit and see. I like the Switch 2 over my OLED. Well, I do. But was it worth it? Probably not. I only got $200 for my Switch. Now, I only sold my Switch and a case. I didn't sell games or SD cards or nothing. No extra controllers. So I got $200 for mine. But I think that a lot of people had it listed for 200, but they didn't have the box and the packaging, and I keep my stuff very neat. So my listings tend to stand out just a little bit. But I wasn't getting 250. I was getting 200. So that means that this thing cost me, after I sold my OLED, this cost me 250. Was it really worth it? Really? I don't know. I'm hoping that I don't regret my purchase as time goes on, because I just sold the OLED. And I don't know that I would go back to the OLED, but because, you got the extra horsepower, the extra memory of this. Because even if you consider my 64 gig card that I had in my OLED, this is still twice that. This is 256. I don't know that I'm going to hit the limit of that anytime soon. So I don't even see the need to go out and get a card right now. But I do want to get a Pro Controller for sure. I just bought a Legend of Zelda themed Switch. I never had one until now. Yeah, especially if you just bought one, I'd wait. I don't think there's any. Yeah, here we go. It'll be $899 next year. Stop it. What are you doing? It'll be $1,000. No, I think that's another thing that I feel good about telling you to wait, because everybody had these. I mean, there was people, Facebook and YouTube and Twitch and Instagram, live streaming. We're here at midnight. We're going to try to get one. We're going to get one. None of that was necessary. They had them everywhere in stock. So, I mean, and not even like weird hole in the wall places. Main retailers like Walmart had them. I think there's going to be plenty out there. And now the initial rush, I think, has been satisfied for the most part, with the exception of people that bought theirs from GameStop and had a staple put through their damn screen. Those people are probably pretty pissed off. But everybody else, I think, and then, well, at Target, I think they messed up their pre-order too. But beyond retailers screwing it up, Nintendo supplied enough controllers, enough consoles to, I think, keep the masses kind of satisfied. And so I think just wait. Just wait. There's no reason to run out and get it now. They are also dropping free upgrades for most of the first-party games, so it is it's the titles that you've probably already paid for anyway. You're just having to buy little $10 upgrades, and that's what I did with Zelda, the Breath of the Wild. I had to pay $10 to upgrade it. But to be fair, Sony did that too. But most of the games are just current games with upgrade packs. There's not that many new games for sure. Waiting on the Odyssey 2, and then a theme system. This is pretty much where we are at technology now, though. Things are at a pretty high level, so the upgrades will seem smaller. Absolutely. So, in my mind, that just means wait. Just slow down. Wait. No need to rush out there and get it. Your experience is not going to be drastically different if you've got an OLED. I really don't think so. Now, if you always play in docked mode, maybe. But if you take your thing portable, the OLED looks pretty good. It plays really good. But this does feel better. If you got large hands, this definitely feels better. And it is snappier. The UI is snappier. The eShop is really snappier. Not so much the UI overall. But the eShop is just like, it's buttery smooth. Before, it was kind of janky. You'd have to select the game you wanted and wait a second, and then it would refresh, and that would come up, But when you go to the eShop now, with the Switch 2, it's just quick. It's quick. Trailers start playing as soon as you highlight a game immediately. Little stuff like that I've noticed. I personally noticed better performance in titles across the board. That makes sense to me. I know hating for people that got Switch 2. I hope you got what you wanted. No. And I didn't take your comments that way. I think everybody is just different. And my opinion is, I don't think it's really worth it moving from OLED. Not at the price point. Not when you consider you're not going to be able to sell your OLED for $300 or $400. You're going to sell it. Well, it wasn't even $400 brand new, but you're going to sell it for about $200. If you have a really nice OLED, you kept all your stuff, you can probably get $200 for it now. But once the Switch is out for a little bit longer, the Switch 2, once it's out for a little bit longer, people are just going to want the Switch 2. And your OLED value is going to go down even further. Right now, maybe somebody couldn't get the 2, so they're willing to go for an OLED, Maybe they were wanting an OLED, but they're just like, I'll just wait and see. I'll get something on Facebook. So I think you've got some of that going on right now. So people are just jumping on the OLED. I mean, the guy that I sold mine to, he's never even played one before. He's getting this for his girlfriend or his wife. He didn't even know how to undock the Joy-Cons. There's just he just saw my listing and saw that I had all the box and everything. He's like, oh yeah, I'll go with this guy. So yeah. I keep it simple, arcades only. That's the better way to go. A little more expensive though. I got $180 for a non-OLED. Hey, not too shabby, not too shabby at all. And with that, with that point, I agree with your point. Yeah. I think everybody's different. I think some people are probably absolutely over the moon and love with it. I know it's fun. I know you're getting the most out of your Switch titles for sure. This is probably the ultimate Switch. I don't know if they're going to go with another one after this. I don't know what they're going to do after this. But for me, yeah, if you've got an OLED, I don't think it's worth it right now. Let the price drop. Let some more games come out. Let there be more reasons for you to get this Switch. And, but I think somebody said, who said it up here? Somebody said, yeah, I play dock 95% of the time. Well, then that's where you're going to see the biggest performance, I think. You're going to see 4K. It's the 4K compatible dock comes with this thing. So I will say that Breath of the Wild looks beautiful. It looks so good. I'm rediscovering that game. I played it for 4 hours yesterday. But I like those. I'm a sucker for those games anyway. I played, I can't tell you how many times. I played Shadow of the Colossus on PS2 and the remaster because I just love that game. Cinematically, I just love the way that it looks and plays, and you just feel like you're going on an adventure for sure. Okay, so that's my quick down and dirty first impressions of the Switch 2. There's a lot to like here. It definitely feels premium, but I don't think, at least in my opinion, it's really worth the price to upgrade from the OLED, at least for now. Let's move on into the last topic. We got to talk about this, guys. Stuff has been coming out about Basic Fun, and I had to talk about it because we were talking about it on, hey, just have Fox Modern Arcade Cabinet for you. It's way better than, hey, I appreciate it, man. You will be limited on the amount of games, though. Basic Fun. Let's talk about them real quick. So we've talked about this 2 weeks ago. I didn't have a show last week because my son was graduating high school. So yeah. So we got this going on, and this is interesting. Everybody's excited. New information is coming out. New pictures and images are being revealed, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight because there's some speculation that we're going to get a Basic Fun XL. Some speculation. So let's talk about the images right now. Let's just look at them right now. So here, the image on the left is the image of the Centipede, the Atari Centipede that we saw in the listing, and we didn't really know exactly which one this was. Supreme, Ultra, Mega, Killer Combo, whatever. Nobody knows what these things are just quite yet. Everybody's speculating at this point. But there was no coin door, so I thought that this wasn't quite the Supreme. Supreme's going to have a coin door. And so now we see a different image over here. This is something that I pulled. I got this from James Hates Everything, who turns out to not hate everything after all. Yes. Speculation. I'm speculating. Yes, that it was a Supreme. But now we have some confirmation, at least with this image, that this particular cabinet, not the one on the left, but the one on the right, is going to be a Supreme because it says it on the box. 67 inches is the biggest thing we got to look at and focus at here. 67 inches. You can see that. I cropped it and brought it over here. 67 inches is on the box. That would appear to be bigger than your average bear, bigger than your average 3/4 scale cabinet. Does Supreme not just mean it's going to have a coin door? Does it also mean it's going to be a XL cab? Well, if you compare it to what we know so far, what we've seen in the past, grabbed an XL here for comparison. The NBA Jam, Shaq Jam XLs were 66. Depending on the website, some, I think the Brick listed it as 67, but this image had it at 66. So we're just going to call 66 inches for the XL. Overall height is what we're talking about right here. So could we have misunderstood, misread what's going on with the Supreme? And it's not just a coin door. And it's not just a 4-player, but it is actually, Supreme actually ends up being a XL cab. Possibly. But all we really have, all we're going on so far is just the 67 inches, which I agree is a big thing. It's a big thing. It is definitely something, because you're talking about everything else being like 60 inches or 59 inches on the 3/4 scale. And that's probably what you're going to see right here. So does that mean that this WrestleFest cabinet with the red trim, it's not just a big deal because it's got a coin door and it's got red T molding, but could this actually be, I was comparing this to the NBA Jam 4-player Deluxe, which is a 3/4 scale cab. Could this actually be not that cabinet at all, but more akin to the Shaq Jam cabinet? So is that a better comparison? Is that the big difference maker? Who knows? Who knows? But it's exciting. Let's talk about this. What's this right here? Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. So this is what we're going on. We also have a games list here. Was 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games on this centipede cabinet. Games like Crystal Castle. I made some really good games on this. So a 14 game list, 67 inches tall. That's something that RK1 never did. You only got 13 and 14 games on legacy cabs that never saw the XL size. They were always 3/4. And they were, they were Midway, they were Capcom, they were Atari, yes, and they were Namco. But they were never deluxe. So we never got a deluxe centipede, or a deluxe, really any deluxe cabinet with that many games. If you think about all the games, all the cabinets that were XLs, I think Pac-Man would probably be the only one, the only exception. But everything else, for the most part, we never saw that games list. So if you have a Pac-Man XL, this could be perfect. This could be a perfect complement to that cabinet. The cabinet that maybe RK1 was going to build but never got around to building, or lost license because now Atari hates them. As they should. As they should. So it's exciting, but this is really all the information we know. The 67 inches. That's what we're talking about. That's what everybody's freaking out about. And that's probably something worth freaking out about. The size and shape and the artwork and all that is a little funky on the cabinet to your left. It is. And there was concerns that was going to be too skinny. Michael B brought this up. That it's going to be too thin. And it could be. And look at that side art. It definitely makes you think that. So then go back to what we're going to go ahead and call, for the sake of this discussion, the XL, the Supreme. Let's call it the Supreme. Let's use their naming convention. The Supreme cabinet. 67 inches. Look at the artwork on the side. If you look to your left, where the control panel is, on the cabinet on your left, that's the top of the centipede graphic, is right there at the control panel. But if you look at the graphic on the right, I know that you're just looking at a little piece of it, but you can see the blue part. I think the fourth mushroom up on the graphic is level with the control panel, which means that art has been probably not stretched. It's probably more arcade accurate, which means that cabinet could be deeper as well. So the Supreme cabinets could be more in line with the XLs, more trying to mimic the dimensions of a full-size cab in more than just the height. It could be a deeper cab as well, but there's definitely something going on with the artwork, because the artwork is definitely higher on that cab than the skinny one on the left. The 3/4, which we're going to call the Ultra, I guess. That would be the Ultra. So that's what we're looking at. Definitely some good things to consider when you're looking at this cabinet overall. One thing we don't know is the monitor size. There's no call out for that whatsoever. I've looked everywhere and I can't find it. And what I remember from that original interview, that audio interview, is that there was no call out of a 19-inch monitor. There was talk of coin doors and stuff like that. And that was the big thing from the interview. That was my takeaway from the interview, was that the Supremes were going to have a coin door. I was like, and that was probably just an off-the-cuff remark. It really wasn't, and I'm sure by that point, the designs weren't totally 100% finalized. So I thought, well, okay, I need to just go back to that original interview, right? Let's go back to the original. Oh, sorry, right? Bring up the arcade 1-up, and Centipede depth is the same. Artwork works in the same. Well, in any event, they've moved the artwork around. That's fair. But anyway, so I thought, let's go back to that original audio podcast and listen to the interview again to see if I missed something. You can't. Because if you go to Geek, this is the Irate Gamer, Geek Time was his podcast where we pulled that episode from. It's not there. It happened about 2 months ago, and you see everything 2 months ago has been just removed from his platform, from his YouTube channel. I thought, well, that was weird. Where did anybody link that? Because I don't think that I linked that podcast. I couldn't find it on my page, but I thought about somebody else who did, and I think that was oh yeah, I remember that was the guy that says he hates everything but doesn't always hate everything. And oh, guess what? If you go back to his original post where he did link it, and he copied me on it, the video isn't publicly available. So he has taken that video private. Most likely, maybe it's a members only thing on his channel. He probably took it private so he could keep the views, but he had to take it down. Why? No, I'm good. I'm not going to watch that channel. Not going to support that channel at all. So that's just my 2 cents, Calvin. Sorry. So we don't have access to the audio of that original. I mean, yeah, you're right. Cornercade has it. Cornercade has it on his original live stream because he just does that. He likes to just copy other people's content, just rip it verbatim, and then use it, which is dishonest and it's not creative. And I'm not a fan of his channel, so I'm not going to support him in any way, shape, or form. But Calvin, you're 100% right by making that suggestion, and that's a good resource. No. I apologize. No, I'm not trying. It's not you. You did nothing wrong. I'm just letting everybody know I'm saying that. I just want you to know that I'm saying that for a reason. So it's not, you did nothing. No, you're not. You did nothing wrong, buddy. No problem at all. I just want to make sure that everybody understands my reasoning for not supporting that channel. But so you can't even go back to the original video and watch the video again to determine what's going on. So I decided, well, let me just go back to my original notes and I'll just see what did I glean from that. And here's what I wrote down. We talked about this on the live stream that night, is that this is it. This is what I took from the audio interview, was we were going to have countercades, or the terminology he actually said was the categories of, or not the categories, the types of arcade products that Basic Fun was going to bring to market. These were his words: counter, freestanding, slim, and junior series. And then he mentioned Pac-Man, Turtles, WB, and arcade, or Atari specifically. And then his categories, or the naming convention for their products, was going to be Junior, Slim, Ultra, and Supreme. And in his description of those, he listed coin doors being one of the things that was distinct on the Supremes. So that's it. And that's where we're at, and that's what we're left with. But I'm also left with a $2 super chat from Kevin Clausen. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat, buddy. Good man, Fox, and congrats on your son graduating. Thank you so much for your super chat. Yes, my youngest boy is off. He's gone. He's out of here, just like you. And guess where you're going? To the pit.
Finish him. Molina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Did Arcade 1-Up Slim sell? Well, they only made one. So I don't know that they really did. I mean, I guess if you count the Casino-Cade as a Slim, then maybe, just maybe, you could count that in there. So maybe that one sold. But yeah, I don't think that they really sold that well at all. Not at all. And it's kind of sad. And it's frustrating. Almost as sad and as frustrating as a host missing the first super chat of the night. And that honor goes to Gallagher Guy 88. I am so sorry I missed your super chat. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat, buddy. Love this, but I do wish he would have done a simple Nintendo type of deck to go along with the hood. I agree. That's a really good point. That's something to consider, something to think about, something you should actually think about while you're on the way to the pit. Like I gotta do it again because you're the first.
Finish him. Molina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Paul said that the Slims always have been and always will be absolutely terrible. I agree with every bit of that statement, actually. Yeah, they're not good. The Slims, I'm sure, have a place. I'm sure they're marketed in a certain way where somebody thinks that a Slim is the way to go. We always thought that Arcade 1-Up did that because they had to change the style because of Think Up and all that other controversy. And maybe there was nothing to that at all. But I think that the Slims are god-awful and horrible in every way. And I think that the XL should have been the way that they went and should have gone, you know. Yeah, I'd rather see a Partycade. Keep Partycades, and keep the 3/4 deluxes. And never the two shall meet. We don't need a combo. We don't need a fusion of those two. No. Keep those separate. We don't need a slim version of an upright. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Not at all. So that's just my 2 cents. But yeah, I personally don't think that they sold that well. I don't have access to the numbers, but we see that in the way that they, didn't make more. They didn't make more Slims. Now, maybe more Slims are coming and we can throw up later, but they didn't make more of the deluxes, but they're actually skinny, if that makes sense. So we can't really go back to the original. And if Calvin brought up a good point. If you want to listen to the original audio, Cornercade did just play that on his show, so it's possible to go back. But I don't think we missed too much. I think I pretty much got everything. I listened to that several times before I did my show back then. So I think that I don't know that 19 inches was really referenced at all. I think somebody would have probably picked up on that beforehand. So is an XL form factor going to include a 19-inch monitor, or is it just going to be physically bigger with the same monitor? Who's to say? Who really knows? But I think that if nothing else, you're going to get a bigger cabinet that, depending on the type of connector they're using, I'm assuming it's going to be a standard LVDS connector like every other small monitor that we've seen. You could just upgrade to a 19-inch monitor, I guess, if you wanted to. But the biggest part of that is having a big enough cabinet to support that. And I know Buy Stuff is putting 17 inches, our 19-inch monitors in deluxe cabinets. But it would be nice to have a larger physical cabinet where the 19-inch doesn't look out of place. My insider who provided the receipts said Supreme has 19-inch monitor. Well, there you go. We're just waiting for an official word now. But does that change the math for anybody as far as the poll question? The poll question this week, I asked you about it. What do you want to... Now you have all the information you need. Let's assume that it's going to happen. Let's assume this bad boy is real. The Centipede cab with those 14 games in an XL form factor, is that going to be worth it to you? James, right now, name your source. Oh, wait. Name your source. Name it. Name him or her. Could be girl. We don't know. All I want to know, for sure. I don't think it's that's all. I don't believe you. I think your source is Cornercade. I think that Danny he quit his job at Best Buy to go work for Basic Fun. He is the inside plant. He is the source of everything wrong in this great nation. But he could actually be your source for something really cool, which would be the Basic Fun Intel. And even though that sounds crazy, this is crazier.
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Glass gets empty. It's weird. I don't know what happens. Yes, unfortunately, it is that time of the show. We got to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. But before we go, let's talk about that poll question. You have all the information. Give you a couple seconds to jump up there and vote. Here is the brass tacks. Here's where the rubber meets the road. Here's where it really matters. We talk about all this all day long, but at the end of the day, are you willing to pay $600 for a Centipede-themed Atari XL cap? That's the question I have to you. We'll talk about WrestleFest another time, but for right now, we've got some confirmation that we're going to see this in that form factor. 125 votes. Thank you so much for voting. Go ahead and end the poll right now. The answer, yes or no. Would you pay $600 for said cabinet? Let me just go ahead and clip this here real quick. As soon as it comes up, come on. Give me a minute. Men of a certain age, and all that. Where is the poll? Where did it go? Okay, I just ended it. And it's gone. Where the hell did it go? Oh, you got to be cute. Did we lose it? No, we didn't lose it. Oh, there we go. Finally. Okay, now we've got it. And with a whopping 125 votes, the answer is no. 64% say no. I'm not willing to spend $600 on that cabinet specifically. Now, I tend to think that everybody here is home arcade fans. That's just, I think it's a pretty safe assumption. And if they can't win over this crowd, I don't know what the problem is. Now, it could just be that it's Atari and we're all Atari'd out. It could just be that Centipede sucks. I don't think that it's necessarily that. Or it could come down to price again. Now, we talked about 2 weeks ago, the good thing about Basic Fun coming out with cabinets is that there is a pre-established market that is ready to receive these cabinets. But there's also a precedent set as far as pricing. And $600 does fall in line with the XLs from Arcade 1-Up. So I don't think pricing is an issue. I think maybe it's just the cabinet. Maybe people aren't quite as excited about an Atari XL. Maybe the key is keep everything the same. The price, the size, it's going to be the game. And maybe that's what it all boils down to, is somebody out there with an Arcade 1-Up, primarily Arcade 1-Up, 3/4 scale arcade, is just wanting something new, something different. And maybe Centipede is just a little bit too familiar. Members, please stay right here. You're going to be automatically redirected to the after show where we're going to get more in depth on anything you want to talk about and stuff I got going on behind the scenes. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by and checking out the channel. Don't work too hard this week, and I will see all of you right back here next time. Peace.